when we broke up, when we took a break last year, I went on live for the people who remember this, and I spoke my truth. I spoke about, situations that happened. I spoke about, her leaving my kids and with a neighbor, and it really hurt me. And one of the things that she was upset about, right, was that I took my personal life to social media. I apologized to her. I understood where she was coming from, and I really did not need to go on social media to express what was going on in our personal life.
So you, as a grown man, did not know taking your personal business to social media would cause issues in your relationship. That's kind of suspect to me. A lot of times these men in entertainment world feel like it's necessary to go on social media and air their personal business, claiming they're speaking their truth or they're giving advice to people, when in truth and in fact the people they're airing their business to don't give a damn about them in real life or their relationship. They're much more interested in the mix up. So that right there is telling me that he's a person that likes to get social media validation from his fans, whether it's with his relationship or otherwise. So throw the BS. Come walk with me.
Met her as a fan, okay? When I met Kirby, she was with her baby father. I was with my baby mother, but I was going through my problems, and I really was in a bad space with my baby mother. We used to go from Florida to New York, and she told me she had a baby father and she really didn't want to be with him, but her mother is forcing her to be with the baby father. So we just was doing our fling thing.
So you, as a grown man in a relationship with the mother of your child, decided to cheat on the mother of your child with this girl. She also had a baby father that she was with. So the two of y'all are messy as hell and disingenuous as hell and disloyal as hell. Oh, this also shows a pattern of behavior that me not go hold me mouth and talk that you're a cheater. Okay, this is a pattern of behavior. So later on, I'll talk more about this, but listen to what he's saying, because he himself right now is admitting to being a cheater and don't even realize it. Let's get it.
Within my self, I felt like she wasn't really with the baby father. So when I got out of my situation, I kind of started taking her seriously. She moved to Houston, and she said she was in the academy and she was going to be a police officer. I guarantee you, if we speak to her baby father, it'll be a different story. But I don't even want to go there. But anyway, I told her in 2018, I said, you know what? I don't want to be the person who is going to mash up your happy home. I'm not a house wrecker. I'm in a good space right now. I don't want to be a part of that. If you are with your baby father and this is who you're living with, I'm good. Me and Kirby started communicating again, and we became, girlfriend and boyfriend. We was talking while her baby father was still living there. And I accepted that. She came to Atlanta because I told her sister that I was going to engage to her. Her sister was so happy. Her sister was supportive, and I planned this engagement for when she came to Atlanta. Her mother got involved and was very upset.
So you, as a grown man, felt like getting engaged to a woman that was living with her baby father was okay. And I'm going to say he thought this was okay because he himself was cheating on his baby mother with her. So he felt like this was an okay move to make. So, in my opinion, I feel like this right here is a big, big red flag. Why he did it, I don't know, but that's just my opinion on that.
I posted Kirby on Valentine's Day 2 years ago, right? When I posted her, somebody commented on the page and said, "Are you gonna still fuck blank when you're in New York?" To my knowledge, I only knew about Kirby's baby father. After after um after this comment was on my page, she had no choice but to tell me about a dude that she was sleeping with in New York. When this man that she was sleeping with, she told me that she was sleeping with this man since she was 15, and this man was older than her. He was about 24 or whatever. Come to find out that this man she was sleeping with was also her niece's uncle.
Messy, messy, messy. So, she confided in you that she has been sleeping with this older guy since she was 15 years old. And this right here is what I call slut shaming. And slut shaming is the act of degrading women because of their sexual behaviors, way of dress, and amount of partners they have. You knew all of this, but yet you were still in a relationship with her. She confided personal information to you, and now you're using it as a way to what, justify you beating her? Me confused. But let's continue. This also proves that she wasn't a virgin when she met you, and you weren't a virgin either. So, how is this relevant? I have no idea. Also, this can be a case of where she was sexually manipulated, raped when she was 15, and don't even know it. For you to divulge this type of information is crazy because she never divulged any of this stuff in her life about you. All she talked about was the abuse. Where is that in any of this?
It's a shame to experience these things. And like I said, I'm so apologetic to the women that went through domestic violence. Been, I've held so much things back. And I use my comedy and my drive to become who I am today. So for somebody to try to destroy me after I've been nothing but good to this person.
So for me, looking at this, honestly, I feel like this is where the manipulation tactics come in. And he's moving the goalpost from where it's supposed to be. And it is the fact that he is allegedly someone that abused her. The hyperbole and generalization of his comments, the denial, he has not once yet said or apologize for his actions that may have caused her damage. Not once. Playing on people's emotions with saying that you were molested is very triggering for Caribbean people, because a lot of Caribbean people have been molested or have that same experience. Okay, and this is using the intense emotional connection to change another person's belief about you. That is a part of manipulation. But let's go. Sorry to hear that he was molested. It's very sad and unfortunate that a lot of Caribbean men and women live this. But Major, you are moving away from the real issue. Why did you beat her?
I was molested as a child. I confided in somebody about it, which is Kirby. I told her, I said, listen, I've been through a lot, and I just want to know that you're here for me. I told her I was molested as a child from a male family member. And she took that and she used it as ammunition. We had an argument. She told me that I'm a faggot. She told me that my mother allowed somebody to molest me for 4 years. She threw all of that in my face.
So he's saying that Kirby disrespected him and threw personal information back into his face during an argument. And these are the text messages to prove it. But if you read the text message carefully, you can see that he was also speaking ill of Kirby's mother. And when you have arguments, especially in a relationship, and you talk about somebody's mom, know that they're going to talk about your mom also. It may not be right, but that's how it goes. You can't talk about someone's mom and not expect them to take off the gloves and talk about yours. So this is a very sad situation, and I don't excuse this. I don't think this is right at all. Even if you're in a relationship and you're arguing, when you go and hit below the belt, know that there's no justification for it, and it will probably ruin your relationship. When you hit below the belt and hurt somebody's feelings, do not think that it is okay.
I always knew that Kirby had some kind of loving or liking for women. And like I said, I'm putting it all out here because I don't want to come back on here and respond to anybody or anything. Every argument, every serious argument that me and Kirby had was because of another woman. And not on my behalf either.
You're slut shaming again. Slut shaming again.
The day I met Kirby, up until 2 weeks ago, I never interacted with another woman in that whole situation. I interacted as far as conversation, yes. Flirting, yes. But sexually, because I knew what I wanted. Last week, I went to Fort Lauderdale to do a show. A friend of mine said that she wanted to come to the show. I bought her a ticket. She came. She came to the show. But I knew, I knew that this girl was just a friend. But I knew that Kirby was so on my body about having other women around and so insecure about me talking to other women that I knew that if I was to tell her that a female friend of mine wanted to come to Fort Lauderdale to the show, that she wouldn't like that. We went to the show. I came back home. Me and this girl did nothing. When I came back, Kirby told me that we need to talk. Now, I would put my head on the block for Kirby. She lived with me, so I didn't ever think that she would still be communicating with anybody or she would be doing anything with anybody. So I put my head on the block. People was always asking me, like, you think she's faithful? Like, what? Nobody couldn't tell me that she wasn't faithful. So I never had a reason to go through Kirby's phone. I never had a reason to check and I know what that brings also, so I never wanted to check her phone. When I got back from Fort Lauderdale, she hacked into my computer, found my password, and she was looking through my texts. Now, if you have an Apple phone and an Apple computer, you know that your accounts is on the same. So she went and started looking through my texts. She saw me talking to women. She saw me flirting with women. She swore up and down that I was having sex with these people, but I actually wasn't. And like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and play like I'm a saint.
So, you're telling me that you flew out a female friend to meet you in Fort Lauderdale, got her everything she needed to come see you at a show in Fort Lauderdale. What do you think that was going to bring in your relationship? Okay, do you think any woman in a serious relationship is going to put up with that? Another thing is the fact that you thought that was okay is tells a lot about your character. And you say you are engaged to be married and you love this girl. And you're telling me that you flew out this girl, got her a room and all of that, and y'all didn't do anything, nothing at all. So you gave her a reason to believe that you were cheating, and you're shocked that she tried to go through your phone to find evidence of you cheating. Why are you shocked? Any woman in a them right mind would do that. Because if my husband ever think him hot and do no foolish like that, I would definitely go through his phone. And that is a fact. Any woman would have do that. But let's continue.
I got back home, I think, on Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday, I was just trying my best to prove to her that, you know, I'm taking accountability and I'm so sorry, and, you know, I didn't want that for us, and, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And she was really hard on me about it, which I expected. I expected her to be hard, and I was ready for whatever the consequences were. At the same time, I thought to myself, why is this girl always have the need to check my stuff? Why does she always have the need to go through my things? If I go out to a party and I'm with, say, DJ Young Chow, or I'm with Steely Bashman, she has to go on their story to see what I'm doing because she know I'm not going to post anything crazy. And I just was wondering why. Why does she have to go so hard for this whole, like, I'm cheating thing? And I'm not. And I said, you know what? People who do this, they do it because they have something to hide. And this is when I took her phone. Kirby, she said, you want to go through my phone? All right, let me open it. Now, you know these phones is Face ID and code and all of that. I said, I don't need to do it in front of you. So when I had her phone, she was chasing me for the phone in her vehicle, chasing me. I was driving my Bentley. She was driving her CLA, and she's chasing me through the streets for this phone.
So, because Kirby went through your phone because you went to Fort Lauderdale, flew out a girl, got her a hotel room, and so she could see you. She went through your phone and found all of that. You felt like, okay, I'm going to even the score now and I'm going to go through her phone to see what she has in her phone. And Kirby didn't want to give you her phone, that would be a big red flag for me personally. If I tell somebody to open up their phone and they don't want to do it, it's a big red flag. And you are grown, so you probably knew it was a red flag that she was cheating. But the two, as far as I'm concerned, are cheaters. So I believe it's like an understanding you guys have. I may be wrong. I may be right. Who knows? But let's carry on.
And I'm gonna go through them fast. I'm going through them. This is all 2019. So when I confronted her about these things,
So this is where this gets sticky, and this is where it comes down to who you believe. And honestly, I'm going to say this. I'm tired of men getting away with stuff like this. And I'm tired of especially Caribbean men not being held accountable. So she's showing a whole bunch of screenshots of Kirby's conversations from 2019, and the rest of them don't have any date. I am of the belief if you're going to bring receipts, bring real receipts and bring specific time and specific information. These receipts were from 2019. He said out of his own mouth that he and Kirby had a lot of on again and off again moments in their relationship. Kirby said that during these times that he has these screenshot was when they were not together. So this is why I say it's all up to who you believe and who you think is in the right in this situation right here. So if you guys weren't in a relationship and this was what she was doing, then it's justified. Because if I'm not in a relationship anymore, I'm not gonna sit around and wait for you because you are out there living your best life, probably flirting, dating, having sex with God knows who. So I'm gonna do what I need to do and live my very best life. If they weren't together. So it's very much justified if they weren't together. But if they were together and this was what she was doing, she is a very wicked girl. Okay, very, very wicked. Because if you're in a relationship and this is the type of stuff that you're keeping in your phone, this just tells me that you are someone that is not faithful, somebody that will bring diseases into a relationship, somebody that's disloyal, disingenuous, and the list goes on. Not only that, you are nasty as hell if you were in a relationship and did this. So she would have to come with receipts showing that they weren't together, and that's what she was doing for me to think that this was okay. But for now, this is just nasty. Also, if you guys were in a relationship and you guys were together and you guys got back together, why would you keep all the stuff in your phone? Why were you keeping a whole sex tape in your phone is also another question, a big question I have for her. And that didn't sit well with me from the last live at all. And also, I have to add that if this was a man's phone with peer, pum pum picture, and gal picture, no one would say anything. They would say Magialis and they would give him his props. But because this is a woman, they're going to shame him and call her a whore and all types of stuff, which is the double standard we have in our community today. And I don't feel like that is right. And I don't feel like she should be ridiculed for this either. Especially, we don't know, because we don't know if they were actually together or they were on a break. And this information, all of this is from 2019.
We only been together for 2 years. What's years? You're talking like it was 10 years. And then you're lying. I've been taking care of her. This is all her. What's also with the stuff that I sent to her bank account. Okay? So the truth must be told. Kirby is a very abusive woman. Very abusive. Emotionally, verbally, physically. This is her friend. Now, any woman, and I'm not going to keep it on there. I'm not going to keep it on there because I don't.
So, you're showing the money that you gave to her. I guess it's justified. You're saying you took care of her. Well, honestly, that's what men do, especially when they have woman. Them take care of them woman, them send them money if you make sure so them good. So this right here is kind of petty to me. This right here is kind of waste man argument to me. But to each their own. Okay? To each their own. And he is claiming that she was physically and emotionally abusive to him. But you were engaged to married to her. So me not understand. Both of y'all are toxic, in my opinion. Because if she emotionally and physically abusive to you, why were you still with her? Mm. And I understand that a lot of time abusive relationship, it takes a long time for either party, whether male or female, to actually confront the issue and leave the situation. So I'm confused, needless to say.
She claimed that I did voodoo to her. She said I was doing voodoo on her, right? A friend of mine's, when we was going through our problems, introduced us to someone that was supposed to be a spiritual man, right? Me and Kirby both decided that we wanted this man to help us through our problems, and you know, he was a spiritual man and he could pray over us and do whatever he had to do. The man, when me and Kirby had another situation where she left, the man said that he's been calling Kirby and she's not answering his phone, and he takes that as disrespect, and he doesn't like that. He told me that what he was going to do to her and this and that, and I didn't like the fact that that's where he was going with it, because if you're a man of God, you shouldn't have that type of thought process in your mind. And this is where I realized that this man was a dirty man. He told me what he wanted me to do to Kirby, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And I knew that I was never going to talk to this man again. I knew that I was never going to do what he told me to do to Kirby, so I left it alone. But I left that paper that I wrote everything down in my drawer. Once again, Kirby had the need, when I was not home, to search through my things, and she found it. And I was honest and I was open with her, and I told her, I said, listen, this is what the man told me to do, but I would never do anything like that to you because I love you genuinely.
So if that's the case and you went to a spiritual healer to heal your relationship, as you say you did, why did you keep what he told you to do to her if it wasn't something that you intended on doing? Why keep it in your drawer? Why keep it in your personal belongings? Why do that? That don't make no sense to me. That don't make any sense to me. I feel like, honestly, and I'm gonna keep it real, you were definitely voodooing this girl. You definitely did try to get that girl here. Why keep it if it's not something that you would ever do to her? Why? That make no sense to me. So I'm gonna round up this rebuttal or this reply from Major Hype and say that, quite honestly, he did not clear anything up for me personally. Um, all the screenshot that he posted of her allegedly cheating on him were from 2019, and the rest didn't have any date. So what was the reason that you actually hit her? What was the reason? And I am guessing from everything that was said was because she found out that you flew that girl out to Fort Lauderdale to do your show, and it caused a big argument in your relationship, and that's where the abuse came in, allegedly. That's just my opinion. And honestly, I felt like there's a lot of slut shaming, gaslighting in his reply, and he did not account for his actions, not once. There is zero accountability on his part. Not once did he admit to hitting her or going in a scuffle with her. He said she was the one that was mentally and emotionally abusive, but I feel like both of y'all are toxic and both of y'all were abusive to y'all one another. Okay? There's a whole lot of double standards in here, and which is expected, especially from Caribbean men. They feel like they're supposed to get away with whoring and touring and doing as they please, especially when they're in the limelight and especially when they're in the spotlight and them have no followers and no people agree to everything them say and them think they're holier than thou. They feel like they should get away with cheating and doing whatever the hell they feel like. And that is where I have a problem with some of the stuff that he says in here. Another big question for me is that she alleged in her last live that you cut your wrist in front of her and you did not have a heart attack. So where are your discharge papers to prove that you actually had a heart attack? You actually did not cut your wrist because you come on pan live again in another long sleeve, you know. So that is further proving her point that you actually did slit your wrist and you are actually kind of manipulative. Allegedly, because all of this stuff is alleged information. Another thing that really perturbed me is that he, when this was all said and done, read a scripture. And honestly, for me personally, people that read scriptures, people that's very churchical, sometimes are some of the most wickedest people you can ever find. And that right there didn't sit well with me because a lot of time people like to call on God and call on or whoever they believe in when they get themselves in a problem, and normally they don't read down scripture and they don't do all of this, but because they're in problems and they're looking for sympathy and they're looking for the church community to support them, they use that as a tactic for manipulation, especially in the Caribbean community, where Caribbean community is filled with people that have been manipulated from they were young age to believe in something that is not what we should believe in as people. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. Major, you still not say why you beat the girl. You still have not apologized to the girl. You still have not held yourself accountable for your actions. And nothing you said in here justify you abusing her. So, for all the people out there that think this is a justification of why he abused her or beat her up or all of that, I'm here to tell you it's not. And people that are defending him and thinking that this is okay because them think she a whore and they think she a slut, no, and all of that BS. Okay, I'm gonna call BS on that one. So that's my whole synopsis on this thing. I feel like both of them are very toxic. Both of them were abusive to their one another in their relationship, and this all stemmed from Majah flying out a girl to his show in Fort Lauderdale, and it got heated and got out of hand. Another thing I realized with his whole thing is I feel like she went on live because the only thing he cares about is his image and going on live and the people that support him. So she probably felt like the only way to get his attention and get him to own up and man up was to put in his business out there, because he stated before he put his personal business out there on live and then he had to publicly apologize to her. So I feel like this is why she put his business out there. It's not right. It's not something that I think it's okay doing, but I can understand it. Anyways, comment what your thoughts are in the comment section. Do you believe him? Do you believe her? Or you're caught in the middle? I'm quite honestly, I'm caught in the middle, and I do believe he beat her and abused her, but I do believe that she was also abusive and they got into something and she put it out there on social media for him to be held accountable. So comment what your thoughts are in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't be surprised if this video gets taken down because I'm using his content. And if you don't want it up here and if you don't like what me say, he will probably get it taken down. But anyways, deuces. Bye.